Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Projectionist vlog. My name is Eve. Thank you very much for tuning in. And tonight we're going to talk about Nope, the new Jordan Peele sci-fi horror comedy. I don't know. It looks like it's a few different genres based on the trailer. So real quick, this movie, the first advertisement for this film appeared on Twitter last summer. And Jordan Peele tweeted it, and it was this really cool, ominous poster with a cloud and like a kite thing hanging out. I don't know what that's called. And a little town in like a valley. It looked like it was out in the West Coast. And I just said, I'm sold. This poster looks great. And, I like his previous two movies, Get Out and Us. Get Out was great. Us was very well made, but I felt it didn't lead anywhere. But I'm still going to see this, But so I've been following this movie since, all the trailers and commercials and all the promotions and ads and everything and all the fan theories and stuff. And so, just looking up online what I could about it. So I'm excited to see this, and I'll be there next weekend to see it. So the one issue I have with this movie, and I kind of get it, but on the other hand, I think they could have made the entire commitment. Is that they shot this with IMAX film cameras, and based on what I've been looking up in terms of tickets are on sale, in terms of ticket sales. It looks like there is no theater showing in IMAX 70 millimeter film. And that really sucks, because this looks like a great movie. It looks big. It looks like it's well shot. It has Christopher Nolan's DP shooting it. And it makes me wonder, what are the politics behind the scenes for, movies shot with IMAX cameras? And it's not just Nope. No Time to Die shot with IMAX cameras, and there were no film prints. There was no word of film prints. I've seen people talk online about it, and they're like, "Oh, it was supposed to have film prints," and somebody would respond and say that was never a planned thing. They just shot that movie with IMAX cameras. Wonder Woman 1984 shot with IMAX cameras, but I think that was like the first 10 minutes or 7 minutes or something. That whole opening scene. But then the pandemic came and all that. And Tenet was shot with IMAX cameras. Now that was supposed to have an IMAX film release. That was supposed to have, I think, 50 plus film sites for that movie in the summer of 2020. But we all know, with the pandemic and everything, that screwed up the entire release. But now movie theaters are back open, and I ran a couple of films in the past year. Obviously, you all know that I ran Licorice Pizza on 70 millimeter for like a month at the Alamo Drafthouse in Brooklyn. But this movie, and I heard, from what I understand, Doctor Strange, the second Doctor Strange, had two 35 millimeter prints, one at the Alamo Drafthouse in Brooklyn and one at the New Beverly Cinema in California. But this movie, they're making such a huge deal with shooting with IMAX cameras. They're just showing everybody carrying the cameras and just pointing it up and down and doing rehearsal shots, and people wearing shirts that say IMAX on it, and they talk about how great and big it is. And I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool. IMAX is, I think, the highest resolution on the planet. They're big cameras, and it provides such a huge image to be projected on a screen that's about 7 to 8 stories tall. It's really vivid and huge and really in your face. It's incredible. But I'm looking up ticket sales for this movie, and not one theater is showing this in IMAX film. And kind of like Christopher Nolan, like with Dark Knight or Interstellar or Dunkirk, they usually provide a list of theaters that are going to show his movie on 15, 70 millimeter IMAX film. And it's usually like 2 to 5 theaters per, and maybe within like 25 states that they're gonna do it. But this movie, there's no list. I don't think IMAX has even published a list on their website, so it pretty much just tells me that this movie is gonna project digital. It's gonna have a digital release in either like a first series IMAX theater, or like the smaller scale ones. Those are the ones that kind of opened up in 2008, and that's when they started retrofitting standard theaters and just branding it IMAX. And then there's the traditional IMAX theaters that have the laser projectors, which actually look good, and I saw Top Gun in laser, and I saw Mission Impossible Fallout in laser, and I'm probably going to see this in laser. But for something like this, they should have film prints for it. If they can get film prints for Licorice Pizza and film prints for Doctor Strange, especially Jordan Peele, who's like a very, in demand, like new filmmaker, they should provide film prints. There are cinephiles, but outside of the cinephile culture, there's just going to be people that are going to see this movie because, they like Jordan Peele and they like horror movies. Horror movies do pretty well. So, but it's a bummer that they didn't make that full commitment, and it makes me wonder what the politics are behind the scenes, and I don't blame Jordan Peele. I'm sure Jordan Peele wanted to have, film prints made for this movie to be released, to like a large number of sites. But IMAX and I'm sure the studio Universal, they're probably like, no, you can shoot this with IMAX film cameras, but getting the film prints, that's a whole another story. And it is, because now we're in this post-digital world, when everything went digital in 2010, and Nolan kept coming out with these IMAX films. And I remember being an IMAX projectionist myself, I remember always being told, oh, this is the last one, this is the last one, this is the last one. And, I always asked like an IMAX tech in the past, like, oh, where do the higher ups stand on this whole IMAX versus, film versus digital thing? And at the time Interstellar came out, it was pretty much 50-50. I think when I was doing Dunkirk, it was 50-40, 50 against 40 for it. But these are things I've heard, and obviously the industry has gone digital. Now, to do IMAX film the way Nolan does, it's a very expensive proposition. Again, you got to pay to strike those IMAX prints. And then you have to, that's a lot of money. Then you have to send out technicians, film techs, around to all the sites, 30, 40, 50 ballpark numbers. And they have to revive those projectors. And then while that's happening, IMAX has to secure projectionists and hire them contract, like me for Dunkirk. And they got to pay them enormous amounts of money just to run this movie for 4 weeks. So I get why there's no IMAX film for this. But I think I think Jordan Peele, he probably could have fought harder for it. But maybe it was hard just because he's, Nolan's a different level of filmmaker compared to Peele. This is Jordan Peele's third movie. By the time Nolan started, shooting with IMAX, he already had like 4 movies under his belt. And it was experimental at the time when Nolan was doing it in 2007. And also everything was filmed. Digital was on the horizon at the time, but now we're like on the other side of that. So there's definitely, it really just comes down to money. and it's very unfortunate because I think a lot of people would like to have seen this movie shown the right way on IMAX film. And for those that don't know, you can definitely look at some videos. I'm going to link in the description below. But IMAX film, it's very mechanical. The film goes all around places through a series of rollers into the projector. Projectionist has to frame it up, and the film is big. I actually have some right here. You can see that. I have some IMAX film. Look at that. Yeah, that's big. And these are all 35 millimeter. So it's cool that somebody's up there in the projection booth in this digital world, setting up your movie, getting the framing right, making sure it sounds good, and starting it on time, and keeping the machine clean, and cleaning the glass. Man, I forgot the glass that goes in there, the field flattener, and cleaning the cleaning rollers, because this is going to be presented on digital, so it's just a giant digital projector that just has like a hum sound, and nobody's up there, and it's going to be automated, and it's going to stop and start, stop and start, stop and start, and it's going to look, laser is not bad, and laser looks good, and it's going to fill up the screen. In a traditional IMAX theater, it will fill up the screen, but you will see a little bit of black on the top and a little bit of black on the bottom. But if you go to the smaller scale IMAXs, the ones that the much newer ones that were made to accommodate the DMR blow up, because most IMAX movies, 95% of them weren't shot with IMAX. They're all just blow ups. And the smaller scale theaters, the retrofitted theaters, the screen is smaller, so it hides that it's a blow up. But in a traditional IMAX theater, the laser will almost fill up the screen, but the detail will be there, and you'll see that it was shot with IMAX. But still, it would have been cool to have that grain, to see the tangibility of it on the screen, and the ultra brightness. It would have been cool. So I really wish that they had IMAX film prints for this movie. It would have been great to see in IMAX, but I kind of understand it. So anyway, and I thought you all should know, since you're paying that premium, like $20+, north of $20, and if you're going to be paying that much for a movie shot with IMAX cameras, I think you deserve to get film prints. So Jordan Peele, next time if you shoot with IMAX, fight to get some film prints out there, and plus you'll be giving jobs to projectionists too that look, they like running IMAX. I like running IMAX. So, but I did get this. I got this poster. That's the reverse side that you're seeing. But this is the note poster. This is the second poster they released, with the cow flying up, and you see all the kind of like the festival garbage around it, like the cups and whatever, and it has like the IMAX and the rainbow colors. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, everyone. Don't let this video discourage you. I just wanted to educate the audience, and and just be like, hey, I see people online talking about, where are the IMAX film prints, and from what I'm seeing on, buying a ticket for this movie, they don't advertise that. So, hey, I could be wrong, and they just didn't advertise it, and then surprise, you get a film print. Yeah, so. But yeah, see it. Don't let what I'm saying discourage you. The movie's gonna look good in laser IMAX or any regular smaller scale IMAX, or just on the big screen in general. See this definitely in a movie theater. Don't wait for, I think, Peacock, because it's Universal. I hope they don't put it on Peacock. I think Top Gun coming out and making the money that it did is going to be it's going to set a new tone in Hollywood, and it's going to remind the studios, hey, don't stay away from the streaming, increase that window before it goes to TV, because your movie can make a lot of money. So, all right, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to see more videos just like this. Later. Bye.